What's going on, guys? Colin here, and this week we have your weekly gaming news coming at you. All right, let's see what we got here for you guys. Let's see. If you have been following the channel lately, you will see that. Let's see. I'm blanking out. No good. Oh, yesterday I completely finished Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, so my entire playlist for that game done, ready to go. Um, I've been throwing in little bits here, little bits there of Doom because I was spending so much time between Uncharted 4, Doom, and Homefront: The Revolution. I do have gameplay of that, guys, but I have not had a chance to upload it yet. I've been really busy with my job schedule, uh, my upload schedule, so it's been pretty hectic. So, oh, also good news. Today, I just got in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan. I will be playing that later on today. I do not know if I will get footage up yet, but I am going to try to at least get the first video up tonight. But it'll probably be pretty late tonight. Sorry that it has to be like that, guys, but that's just how it's going to have to be. And then, oh, I bought Dishonored. Now, I know it came out quite some time ago, but I did not have a chance to play it. So, I got myself a copy, what was it, 3 days ago? Got myself a copy of it and decided, I want to play this because when part 2 comes out, I will be playing that. And a lot of people said that they loved Dishonored, the first one, when they came out. So, I decided, what the hell, why not? I'll go get one. So, I got that put on the side, but as of right now, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get to it. I'm actually thinking I might be able to get to it in July. Don't hold me to that. That's what I'm just thinking that I can do. We'll see. And as of right now, that is the update of what's going on. And let's hop into something I got here. All right. First thing I'm going over is something called Master of Orion. I've never heard of this, but for anybody out there that does know it, figured I'd let you in on what the heck's going on. So, space-themed 4X strategy game Master of Orion, Conquer the Stars is a re-imaging of the 1993 Master of Orion. It is being developed by NGD Studios, with input from developers who worked on the original 93 game. The game hit early access via Steam in February this year, but does not have a definitive release date. And then it says, to find out more about Master of Orion's progress, how the developers are changing the game to be more accessible, and its release date, we chatted with Wargaming Global Publishing producer Jacob Buchler. This is GameSpot. Master of Orion is something of a unique position in terms of the 4X genre right now. Civilization was recently announced, Stellaris is blowing up, etc. What sets Master of Orion apart from these games? Okay. Hold on, guys. Okay, and this is that Buchler guy. One of the tags that we don't have on our product is the grand strategy. So when you look at Civilization and you look at Stellaris, the broader spectrum of grand strategy gameplay, it goes and encapsulates something that's not necessarily specific to 4X. It relates, but they do not do different things in a different way. For us, we're building what I would consider a more accessible, more consumable, and more dynamic experience. Pretty lofty to say that, right? But that's what we're up to. That's what I think we're doing differently, and that's what I want, what we all hope to be able to deliver to the audience. Hopefully the accessibility of these products stands apart and bringing back the IP makes us stand apart as well. We've got some humor going on. We've got a lighter heart touch to it. We're still going to have the just one more turn catch that has to be built in, but I think that's what's going to set us apart. Sorry guys for the silence. I had to wait for my thing to drag the page down. I got a lot of stuff running on my computer right now. Okay, and then it's from GameSpot. Okay, making the game more accessible. Does that mean you're going for a more mainstream audience? And then the guy says, no, 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 it actually doesn't. We know the 4X audience. We've done our homework, where they are, who they are, what they like, what they don't. And we've been very open about engaging them with early access. This game is built for the audience. We want to bring back the feeling of Master of Orion. We want to be able to deliver that to our core audience. We're not going in a direction where we're like, grah, let's go make this market 10 times bigger because that's a great thing to do. I mean, it's a wonderful strategy, but we know who our audience is, and that's who we're building the game for. We certainly hope to acquire new users into the market. We do focus on accessibility that way, but also to the point of, if you look back 20 years ago, the learning curve involved with getting into Master of Orion, I think ruined a lot of people's expectations about what 4X was. Like, oh, it's a spreadsheet game. No, we don't want to be known as a spreadsheet game. So that's the mold we're trying to break. And it goes into, how does player feedback influence how the game is developed? Right now, we've done 3 early access phases leading up to what we would call a feature complete build. So how it affects us from now is delivering on that feedback in a meaningful way. There are a couple of points of feedback that we can't address, and we've made decisions not to. One of those is a tactical battle feedback. Some people say, why isn't this turn-based? It's a polarizing thing. Our game is to make real-time tactical battles great. We felt like, and the original developers felt like, that was a good thing for Master of Orion 3. There's not a lot of them, but that was one of them. Now we look at our player satisfaction on Steam and what the reviews are like, and it's super impactful for us now. For early access 1, 2, and 3, we are driving to get the feedback and to prioritize it, but we're also driving to get the build to be feature complete, because it's really hard to balance a product that isn't done if you don't have all your races in. You don't have your race traits, you don't know what your ship builds are like, you're throwing darts if you're going to try and balance that. Now, we're at a place where we've got a wonderful amount of feedback, and most of it is constructive. I'm honestly surprised at how incredible constructive it has been and continues to be, so now it's about us delivering on that promise. Can you give some specific examples of where feedback has led to something changing? Okay, sure. I think maybe the most interesting place to talk about that is the racial traits. A lot of the feedback in early access was, hey, these races are all kind of play the same. They all feel the same. I don't really notice my bonuses. Well, go play one of the races now. It's vastly different, and I personally have to pay attention to those racial traits. So the race trait balance is a big part of that feedback that's been implemented. Another way is the tech tree and the decisions you can make there. Some feedback we got early on was like, everyone's just going to make the same tech. What makes this fun? That was a pretty good point. A lot of the research techs now, you have to pick one. You can buy, steal, or cheat to get other ones, but you're making more meaningful decisions. Okay, when will the finished game be released? Definitely this year. I mean, we're almost halfway through the year now. I can tell you that we're close, that that we're closer than we've ever been, but I don't think the community thinks that this is a legendary product yet. Hopefully we land on legendary soon. It could take a couple of more phases of early access, and that's not the end of the world for us. We want to show the community that we're listening. We want to deliver on that promise and making a legendary product for us and bringing it to market on a specific time. That's a secondary concern. You get one chance to bring back an IP like this. We're not going to blow it. If it's going to take a little more time, it's going to take a little more time. There's a lot of competition out there. Stellaris, like you said, is making waves right now. There's lessons to be learned from that as well. We're moving as fast as we can, but we're trying to make good decisions along that path. Okay, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I got on that little part right there for you guys. Just for, I don't know, whoever the heck might be interested in that. Whoever knows about that game. I don't. I've never heard of it, but figured I'd throw that little tidbit of information out there for you guys. I love my coffee. I does. I does. I does. Okay. Just waiting for my computer to load the next thing I'm going to read over for you guys. Which I think some of you, yeah, some of you, maybe even more than some of you will be happy about. I mean, I know I am. I know you guys, a good chunk of you guys have played Dying Light. That game was awesome. Absolutely awesome. I loved it. And I know a lot of other people loved it too. I also know that there's still people to this day playing whatever DLCs that they've come out with. So it's got a pretty big chunk of people that enjoy playing it. Now, thing I'm reading is the Dying Light dev is making a new IP and possibly Dying Light 2. And the first Dying Light actually reached 8 million players. That's awesome. That's a lot of players to have on your game. Okay. Still waiting for it to load. When I have this much stuff, because at the same time, not only do I have a lot of stuff up on my computer, I also am rendering a video. So trying to run all this at once, sometimes it likes to slow down my computer a smidge. But whatever. And I'm making, this video while rendering something. I got like, let's see, 6 pages up on the internet. So yeah, it's doing a lot right now. But I also, I had to get the video out to you guys because I got some running around later on this afternoon that I have to take care of. So I was trying to get this out of the way for you guys and get it uploaded by later on this afternoon for you guys. Because I know last week went sideways, and I was not able to get it out on time. But last week was not my fault. Last week was my editing software decided to take a crap on me. Alright, Polish developer Techland, the creator of the Dead Island and Dying Light franchises, is working on at least 2 new games. Now, CEO Paweł Marchuka has shed some further light on these projects. He told Eurogamer that one of the games is a new IP that he's developing at the studio's Warsaw office. It is described as an open-world fantasy game that has RPG elements, maybe in a slightly bigger sense than Dying Light. Marchuka said, though it will have some RPG elements, it is not to be thought of as a true RPG. Additionally, the game will offer co-op multiplayer and a single player, he said. I think that's as far as he reads into that part. Okay, this game is not a repurposed version of Hellraid, which was put on hold last year. I really hope that they're not stopping on Hellraid, that they are going to make it, because they said they were going to continue doing it. Because Hellraid looked like it would be really fun. So, anyways, yeah, I hope they're not. I hope they are doing Hellraid still and not putting that on hold longer. Let's see, it was put on hold last year. Marchaka said, however, it is likely the new IP will share some of the same technical elements of Hellraid, he explained. As far as Techland's other game, which is being made at the company's Rorqueclaw office, Marchaka was much more tight-lipped about this project. However, it's suggested that this is Dying Light 2. The first game was made at Techland's Warclock office, and Eurogame reports that Marchaka mentioned Dying Light Dying Light 2 is an answer to a separate question about the Dead Island franchise. Dying Light has reached around 8 million unique players, the executive said, adding that the zombie game has been pirated around 3 million times. Officially, the game sold 5 million copies in its first 6 months. Pressed to say if the game in development at Techland's Warclock office was in fact Dying Light 2, Marchaka said, "Can't say that," and smiled, according to Eurogamer. In August 2015, Dying Light producer Timon Semektala teased that Techland had lots of very ambitious ideas for a sequel. And then it says, as for release timing, Marchaka said he expects both the new IP and the other IP he's working on to be out within 3 years. Okay. Finally, Marchaka provided status updates on Hellraid and Call of Juarez, saying Techland is currently weighing in options for what to do with these franchises going forward, but nothing has been decided. Alright, well. The next mainland Dead Island game is Dead Island 2, which is in development at Sumo Digital after Specs Ops, the line dropped out. The Dead Island Definitive Collection, which contains remastered versions of Dead Island and Dead Island 2, comes out May 31st for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And that is all I got on that little bit right there. And then I just got one more thing that I wanted to go over with you guys, just because I found it interesting. Hang in there with me, guys. Sorry about the slow loading. Next time I'll have to remember I'm going to have to wait until my video gets done rendering for me to do this. I mean, it's working, but it's just taking its sweet-ass time. Rendering really slows down my damn computer. Well, actually, if I wasn't doing this video right now, when it renders, I can go on the internet with no problem. But with it rendering and me recording this video for you guys, it's making my computer like, no, hold on. And then the next thing I wanted to go over with you guys, just because I found it kind of interesting as well, is called "A Final Fantasy Disease Affected Square Enix," director says. That refers to people within the company who can't imagine anything other than their own view of Final Fantasy. Come on, computer. Oh man, this is just too funny. Now it won't page down so I can freaking look at it more. I can only see the beginning part of the thing I wanted to go over with you guys. I can't see the rest of it. I think my freaking computer's having a stroke. Oh man. Come on. Well, eventually it will page down like it's supposed to. Come on. Come on, little buddy, you can do it. Well, again, sorry guys. I learned my lesson. Next time I am not going to make my news video with this much crap going on my laptop. Okay, holy crap, there we go. Final Fantasy director Hajime Tabata has opened up the bound on the lengthy and at times strained development of the RPG, mentioning what he describes as a Final Fantasy disease. In a back-and-forth interview between Tekken producer Koshiro Harada and Tabata for 4Gamer, Harada asked if there was backlash internally when Tabata took over as the game's director in 2012. Oh yeah, there was, Tabata explained, according to a translation from Kotaku. It wasn't only from inside the team, but outside as well. The reason was that if my way of doing it ended up working, there are those whose circumstances will worsen. It should be noted that Tabata reportedly laughed after speaking that last line. Tabata went on to say that it is important to make changes to the Final Fantasy formula for Final Fantasy, even if not everyone agreed. Around that time, I realized that among fans as well, there are people who've caught Final Fantasy disease, he said. What's the Final Fantasy disease? Tabata frankly explained. It refers to people within the company who can't imagine anything other than their own view of Final Fantasy. He added, since the root is a strong self-affirmation, one's own view of Final Fantasy takes more priority than the team's success. He added, since the root is self-affirmation, if that view of Final Fantasy isn't fulfilled, then they're convinced that it's bad for Final Fantasy. They think since Final Fantasy is a special team, that we are also special because we are making it. When the new Final Fantasy comes out, everybody is going to be so into it. But that's not the reality of the situation, is it? The director went on to say that, at one point in Final Fantasy's development, he told the team, "We're not special, wake up." I realized that when Final Fantasy news was made public, this wasn't only inside the company. Everyone has FF disease. Finally, Tabata said he could not stress enough for Final Fantasy needs to modernize or else it might fade away. At this point, if the series didn't modernize, I think it could have been done for, he said. This isn't the first time Tabata has offered some frank comments on the state of the Final Fantasy brand. He said in April 2016 that when he took over as a director on the project, one of his first decisions was to conduct an analysis of the current state of the Final Fantasy brand in Japan. The results were not promising. Tabata said the franchise at the time was considering a dying IP that had already peaked. Why go on to Final Fantasy? I think it might be 10, I'm not sure if that was the case. Tabata said he believes fans continuing to have faith in the developer to make something great. One thing I've felt from fans is that they are disappointed in the current state of Final Fantasy, but still have hope in terms of what the brand could be, or could go, he explained at the time. Final Fantasy launches in September of 2016 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. A PC version could come later, but nothing has been decided. And that is all I got on that one. Alright, guys. That is it for now. That is all the stuff I wanted to go over with you. And again, sorry that my freaking laptop was lagging like a mother. So, whatever. Nothing I can do about it. I just learned my lesson that this time I'm not going to try to come in here and make this video while I have it rendering another video to upload for you guys, because it doesn't handle it. It handles it when I don't make the movie, but throwing in to make this for you guys, it turned into like a 90-year-old grandpa. I can't do it, Sonny. Hold on, I need my cane. Okay, guys, that's it for you. Obviously, guys, throw some likes on here for me because it helps me out a lot. And hopefully, whoever does watch this likes it enough, and you guys subscribe to my channel. That's always a positive, you know. And later on this week, we will have more. There'll be more Doom coming up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan, and Homefront: The Revolution. And that is what I got going on for right now, guys. All right. So tune in, check it out, hit that like button, subscribe, and welcome to Cowabunga Gaming. All right, guys. We will be back next week on either Tuesday or Wednesday with more news updates for you guys. All right. This is Colin signing out. Deuces.